This is the story of the incredible bond between George, a giant French Mastiff, and Wendy, a tiny kitten, who proved that true love knows no boundaries. I found Wendy by chance. It was an ordinary day and I was walking in the park when I noticed a small, fluffy creature sitting under a tree. She looked so tiny and vulnerable, yet there was a spark of life in her eyes. When I approached her, she immediately reached out to me as if she somehow knew we were meant to be together.
Hello! Who are you?
I couldn't resist. It felt like a sign. I knew we would go home together.
Okay, well, you're coming home with us. Yep.
We often adopt from shelters, but Wendy stole our hearts right away. It only took a day for her to become part of our family. When we brought her home, I just sat her down next to George, our giant French Mastiff, and watched. I thought she might be a little afraid of him. After all, he weighs about 135 pounds. But something extraordinary happened. Wendy climbed right up on his paw and lay there like it was her rightful place. She even tried to snuggle under him as if he was her safe haven. From that moment on, they were inseparable. We couldn't imagine giving her to anyone else, especially after seeing how quickly she bonded with George. Wendy was barely the size of his paw, but that didn't bother her one bit. She climbed onto his back and sat like a queen while he lay peacefully. George, always calm and gentle, showed endless patience with her. Every time we tried to move Wendy, she immediately returned to George. Their bond was so strong that it seemed impossible to separate them. Wendy was not only brave, but also incredibly determined. She would play with George's tail even when he was perfectly still. She would rub against his face, meow like crazy when she saw him, and kiss him whenever she got the chance. And George? He just let her. He never moved, never left. He just basked in her affection. George has always been very good with animals. We have a duck and a chicken, and he gets along well with them. But his bond with Wendy is special. It's a love that words can't describe. You just feel it. Wendy came into George's life at just the right time. George used to have a close companion, Debbie, and they shared a beautiful bond. When Debbie passed away, it was clear that George felt the loss deeply. We saw his sadness, his emptiness. But then Wendy came and filled that void. She brought light back into his life and into ours. To see George happy again, loving another pet as deeply as he loved Debbie, was a gift. Now they balance each other perfectly. George remains calm, wise, and patient, while Wendy brings a spark of energy and fun into his life. Together, they are the perfect team. George has taught Wendy what it means to feel safe and loved, while Wendy has shown him that even after loss, life is still full of joy and playful moments. Every day with George and Wendy is a reminder that love has no boundaries. They care for each other and give each other everything they have. If you enjoyed this story about the beautiful bond between George and Wendy, please like and subscribe to the channel to hear more heartwarming and inspiring stories. If you're considering getting an exotic pet, I strongly recommend reaching out to professionals first and thoroughly researching their care. Only then can you ensure your pet has the happy, healthy life they deserve.